This is how you would unite draw calls. First, let's look at the problem here. Let's say you're creating a game, a 2D tower defense game, where you have turrets, but it also has a fog of war, for example. So you end up with a lot of lights, a lot of turrets, and they all have their area of effect, right? So if I click on this light here, I take it by the area and I can move it. But if I click somewhere here, I'm not sure, am I going to take this light, or this turret? Let's see. And between those two lights is the right one. And between the turret and this left light is the turret. So if you have a problem like this, you probably thought, okay, maybe I can create a draw call. So you go to the scene, create a new script. No, this one is for the light, and you say, okay, I'm going to draw a circle around it. So first, if I want to see the circle in the editor, I have to say this is a tool, and I have to also call the update function. So I can update the canvas item. Now I can call the draw. So we're going to draw an arc. This is the center, so the center of our node is actually a vector 2 that is 0, 0. Now to take the radius, you can see on the left side we have the area and we have its collision shape. In that collision shape we say shape. We click on here, we see, put the mouse over the shape, we can see it's a property shape, and currently our shape is a circle and it has a property radius. So back to the script, we can say shape and radius. Now we have the start angle and the end angle. Tau is just like the pi constant, just tau is 2 times pi, that is the whole circle. Now the point count, let's say 36 for each 10 degrees. We have one line, color white, for example, width, let's say 2, and anti-aliasing, let's say it's set to true. Now we save this, go back to our level, and we have white circles around our lights. So that means we can say, where is it, in the light, we can hide the area. Now we've hidden the area. If I click here, I'm not selecting the light, and I can freely select the turrets. Now the turrets may have the same issue as the lights, so let's do the same thing. We'll just copy and paste the code from the lights to our turret. Create a new script for it, and we say it is a tool. In process, it is doing the update for the canvas part of this node 2D, and in the draw call we say draw an arc. So let's say it's not white circle, let's say it's an orange circle. So we have, there we go, we have orange circles. That means in the turret we can hide this area 2D. We can still use this area 2D even though it's not visible, right? So we have something like this. Now I know that I can take the node by its sprite and not by its area. And I can still see how big of that area is. So let's say we want to make all the draw calls the same. For example, here I'm using the orange, in the light I'm using the white. let's say I want to put all the lines to be the same color. So I have to go here and say orange, for example. And back in the level, everything's orange. That's okay. Let's say that is the result that we're trying to achieve. Now the thing is, we might not have just lights and turrets. So every time we want to change the color, the width of the line, or anything else, we would actually need to go through each of our objects and set these properties manually. Now, let's try to make a tool that would help us unite all these draw calls. Let's create a new script in the root folder and call it Draftsman. So that's going to be our architect. It's just a node because we want to use it as we want to draw inside the editor. We also have to say that our Draftsman is a tool. Now we need to make it singleton. So we go to project settings, auto load, find our Draftsman, and say yes, his name is Draftsman, add it. Close. So this Draftsman is going to be the place where we can put all our draw calls. And it's going to have all our draw settings. Now let's first try it and unite this draw arc. Copy it from the light, put it in Draftsman, draw circle. Now the thing is, our Draftsman is a node, and it cannot draw. It's not a node, is not a canvas item. So in the draw circle, we want to say draw from parameter, that is a canvas item, and we want to say draw from dot draw arc. Now this canvas item can draw. Also, our Draftsman does not have this radius, so let's take that one too. There we go. So now we can go into the light and call this function. In the light we can say Draftsman dot draw circle. We want to give him the self as a parameter. We're giving him this whole light object, and we can copy paste the source of our radius. Now if we save this, let's see our level. It is still drawing. Now of course let's test this. We can go to light and comment the draw, and in the level it stopped drawing the circles. Now we can make some constants, like the color, and now we can add more parameters to our draw circle and set their defaults to these constants. So for example, we have the radius of the circle, and we want to also have the option of changing the color, but the default color would actually be our color here. So we would put a new parameter here. And the width. Also our width is a float, so I'm going to say here 2.0, And in here we can say the width is the width. And change the color. Save this. Now in the light, get back this function, and we can copy paste this function also in turret. Does the same thing. We save this, go into the level. Here we can see that all our circles have the same color. And the call to the draw is a simple one. We are not taking care here of the angles, the lines per degree, the color, the width, but if we want we can. So let's change for the light one, light object, let's change the color. Now we say color dot orange, for example. Save this, go back to the level, and we can see we are drawing the circle in a different color. Now, let's say we dislike how our editor is looking now, it's a bit cramped. So we go back to Draftsman and we can change the line width to 1. So now it looks better. And we had to change only one thing in one place. So by adding more constants here, more functions here, we can create a simple tool for uniting all draw calls. I'll be setting up the Draftsman in the asset library, you can find it there, and feel free to add your own functions or submit changes. Here are some of the examples of the Draftsman. I added the time variable so that all the circles can have an effect of moving. And if we take a look at the game, first off, I'm using the Draftsman. So when I click to aim, I'm drawing 2 circles for the input and where my input is currently. Also, Little Slime can have a visualizer for where he is going to jump. So if I release, he would jump approximately right there. Then also, if I queue up power, I press A on the keyboard, release it, and as you can see, the trajectory changed. And if I release my aim zone, my left click, it shoots power approximately in that trajectory. Now, because our Draftsman is a node and we don't need to change it, it does not have draw arc. Now, the thing is that draw arc, draw circle, and similar draw functions, you cannot use them outside this draw function. So let's try something like this. Let's copy this code from the draw inside the process. We'll get an error here. Let's run this. We want to run our level scene. And we say an error that says the method drawArc isn't declared in the current class. That's for the Draftsman. Okay, let's comment it out. Run this now. How the fuck is this working? So by adding more constants here, by adding more draw calls here, we can set up our Draftsman to work